In my last video, I told you that I was taking a major break, and I didn't know when my next video would be. And it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, I guess, since I posted a video. And on my last posting, my parting statement was, I'll see you when I see you. So here I am. And I'm out in the woods. Imagine that. So, actually, I'm on the way to the bush camp. I just got back from New York a few days ago. And I'm just going out to the bush camp to get a few more of the things that I want for the New York cabin. And I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to share a few little entries to my old cabin journal, written in 2015, and answer the number one question that people have been asking me since they started watching me. Well, anyway, I gotta watch where I'm stepping. When the forest is damp, the little orange newts are everywhere. I don't want to squish them. So I'm gonna put the camera down, watch where I'm going, and pick up when I get to the bush camp. Always nice when I get to this point. Yeah. I had so much fun building that. I was like a kid building a fort. Something's been digging over here. Yeah. I don't doubt, because it's in a circular pattern like that, it might have been a bobcat who dropped a dookie right here and dug to bury it. And I only say that because of the circular pattern. Something was digging like this, pulling stuff. If it wasn't like that, I would think maybe turkeys were in here rooting around, but that's not that. That's just my observations, anyway. Yeah, the bush camp. You know, in some ways, it amazes me that this little bush camp is still standing. Because it's nothing but a stack of firewood and a few little spruce poles and a tarp. And this past winter, we had gotten a 15-inch snowstorm, and then, I don't know, a week or 10 days or whatever it was after that, in a single storm, we got 44 inches of snow. So there was all of that weight on top of this, and it never collapsed. And I come out here, and everything is as I left it. And it's miraculous, really. But it tickles me to no end to find it just the way I left it, after all is been through. So that's pretty cool. But speaking of building, and that is what I want to talk about here, because the number one question that I have been asked through the years is, how do you build a cabin and then walk away from it? And people ask me that because if they followed me long enough, you've seen me where I had built the New York homestead, although you didn't watch the process of me building that because I was filming at that time on an 8mm camcorder, and that was long before I even knew about YouTube, and I was only filming it to document my own journey, just much in the way that I document my life process, the evolution of my life, through my journals, which I have been writing since 1981. So I was filming that for myself, and then a few years went by, and I ended up with a little digital camcorder, a little tiny thing, and I was doing the filming, and then I filmed the process there in New York, so people saw me build that, and I've often talked about selling that. And then you saw me fix up the old camp here, which was a lifelong dream, and I did that. You watched me do that, and I talk about selling that. You watched me also build other things, and then the other property where the garage is, and I've been building a lot of things, and I talk about selling things, and some of it I have sold, and people are like, how do you do it? How do you build something? Oh, there's the sun. The forecast shows nothing but crap for 10 days. And the sun just poked out at me here at Bush Camp. That's like a godsend right there. So anyway, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read a couple of entries from the journal I wrote in 2015, and maybe it'll give you a little different perspective to look at things, and maybe a little more understanding of why I live my life in the manner that I do. And when I build something and then sell it, I'm not walking away or running away from anything. I'm only running to the next dream to conquer. I understand why people will ask me, how can I build something and then leave it? Because the thought process of the majority of people in this world is to stay put. Even folks that are in a horrible relationship find it's a lot easier to stay put than it is to pick up and go. So they stay put even though they are miserable in their surroundings. Some people might have a horrible relationship. Some people might have a horrible job. They hate their boss. They might have more than one job. They hate where they live. They hate their job that they're working so hard on to afford their existence of where they live, which they hate. And then they have a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever that is not fulfilling their needs, and they are miserable all the way around. But because it is much more difficult to make changes, they stay put and deal with it. And I understand it, okay? And I've witnessed it throughout my life, and I still do today. Myself, mostly because of my journals, I write my journals, and I often write at the peak of my emotions, whether I'm really elated or kind of depressed about or angry about something, and I dump it in my journals. So then later on in life, I read through it, and it helps me redirect my life from the decisions that I made and the outcome from the decisions that I made. And it's been wonders for me. So, I like to build. Some people like to carve stuff, do needlepoint, make pottery, build ships in a bottle, whatever it is. People have hobbies. I like to build. I like to create. I just really enjoy the process of building. So I get a dream of a cabin in the woods, and I go and I build it. And I don't draw up any plans. I just build it out of my mind, because I get new ideas in the process, and the design often changes, always changes. And I love the journey. Even though I am working really, really hard, I love the journey. I like to see it unfold. Stand back at the end of the day and look at it and go, wow. And then it's accomplished it and go, wow. And then live in it and enjoy the heck out of it. But the rest of my dreams that I have don't go on a shelf and stay there. I'm like, well, I want to go and do these things. I have one life to live, and I'm going to go and do it while I can. So I don't walk away from anything. What I do is what I told you I always do. I enjoy it, and then I cash it in, and that finances the next journey. I often use the example of a mountain climber, okay? And it parallels my journey, my thought process, where a mountain climber dreams of climbing a mountain, and he's putting his outfit together. He's getting the gear, buying more gear, putting his outfit together, dreaming, and it's exciting. That's just as exciting as the climb. So he gets all of his stuff, and then he goes and he climbs the mountain, works real hard, okay, puts himself in danger, endures the harsh elements. That's all of adventure. The adventure, the adversity, it goes hand in hand. And he climbs that mountain, gets to the top. How much time he spends at the summit? Usually not very long, because he's eyeballing the next summit, some other dream. His mind is already set on his next goal. It's not about spending, he doesn't climb the mountain to spend the rest of his life on the summit. So when I fulfill a dream, my thought process isn't to stay there the rest of my life. I'm going to enjoy the fulfillment of that dream until I am ready to move on. And we are ready to move on, but it's really cool because we are going full circle. I thought that I went full circle when I left New York and came here because of the relationship that I have with this land and my history here. But this area has changed a lot. And as I said before, it's not the New Hampshire I came home that I left, okay, back in '05 when we went to New York. But now we are going back to New York to pick up exactly where I left off. So I'm going to get this journal out here and read a few things from the journal I wrote at the cabin in 2015. All right, so this is June 17th, 2015. And I really didn't make the connection until right now that this is almost to the day. I think today is the 15th or the 16th of June. How ironic. This was when I had started to work on this camp to fulfill my childhood dream of do a complete renovation on it to make it livable so Lori and I would come here and live. And we would come up here every winter through all of the years that we were together and say, wouldn't it be cool to live here through the winter? And it's something I wanted to accomplish. I didn't want to go to my grave without giving that a try. So I would make trips here by myself, stay here, work on it, fix it up. And this was in that process. All right. June 17, 2015. Absolutely gorgeous evening. 67 degrees, light breeze, not many bugs. It's nice to be here. I came in around 4 p.m., mowed the grass, walked Frankie, had supper, and I'm done for the day. Just going to take it easy this evening and enjoy some R&R. I had a nice shower, I'm in my jammies, and life is good. I spent 12 days at the New Hampshire camp. Then when I got home, I did a 3-day show. That was selling our spices. Now I've been busy every day building things for the camp. I'm doing the same things, like a carbon copy of what I did here. Okay? What I did in New York cabin. I'm building the same vanity, same medicine cabinet, and the icebox. Hopefully I'll be ready to return to New Hampshire within a week. So much to do over there, but the project is underway. It will take a while, but I will have that old camp as cozy as this place and really looking forward to it. I have projects here that I would like to accomplish, but not sure if I will get them done this summer. I want to put up a small building in front of the cabin here to use as a place to work on things. A mini workshop or fur shed. I also want to add on to the outhouse, a place big enough to park an ATV. I have so much to do in New Hampshire that it's hard to say what I will get done here. We'll see how the summer unfolds. And then you watched the process unfold as I was building that workshop. I built the workshop, and it's a freaking awesome little building. So I just shared with you what I wrote where I was wanting to have a little workshop in the cabin yard. And if you've been with me for a while, you watched me build that. Then I wrote down where I wanted to put in a 14 by 24 building up in the front of the property. If you've been with me, you watched that go in as well. I talked about selling the New York homestead and coming here and bouncing back and forth between the camp and the cabin with no set agenda, just bouncing back and forth. But we came here and we spent the winter that we always talked about or dreamed about doing, and then we stayed 6 winters, okay? So now we go back to the New York cabin and decide that's where we want to go and stay now. So this is July 9th, 2017. We're jumping forward a couple of years, and this is just stuff about getting the house ready to sell, and I'm going to jump down to here. So today we took our bed and belongings out of the house. We'll stay here tonight, the cabin, but need to meet the buyer at 1 p.m. tomorrow. After that, we'll empty the house and vacate for good. After the closing, we'll pack up the vehicles and trailer and head to the New Hampshire camp, and that will be our home. I almost feel fuzzy reading this because I remember the emotion going into it as I put it on paper. We will be back and forth between the 2 cabins and live the cabin life full time. I am so looking forward to it. This ordeal of getting the house ready to sell has been a few solid months of continuous work. The stress load has been off the charts. But tonight, here as I write this by the window, I have rain dripping from the trees and a wood thrush is singing from the pine behind the workshop. I am the happiest I've been in a month. It's nice to finally decompress. Downsizing and minimizing. Soon it'll be cabin time all the time. And I certainly like the sound of that. The last time that I posted, I told you that I was taking a major break because I wanted to have a lot more fun. And I have. It's been a good month. You probably noticed that I've dropped some weight. I've lost all of my winter fat already. Not because I'm sick or anything like that. It's been great. We've been out hiking, doing some really cool stuff. I would think that probably in the last 3 weeks of woods trekking, I probably walked 40 miles, give or take. And it's been wonderful. So glad I did this. And it's been very, very well deserved. I'm going to do more of it. Are you having fun, Till? Are you rocking the cabin life, girlie? You don't know. I have to overlap them a little bit. The sauce is the boss.
I thought you were the boss.
Yeah. Now you're getting twice as saucy. Oh, so nice.
Yeah, smells good.
You're cooking nice and slow. have some more. They feel tender.
Good. I'm hungry. We did a lot today.
Oh, I'll put some more hot coals on top. Tildy agrees. What do you think? Want some more hot coals on top, Till? Huh? My daddy put the hot coals on the top?
Put the coals to it.
What do you
Huh?
think?
Aw.
Hey, look at her chops. She knows Dutch oven ribs.
Oh, what's the matter,
I
miss?
ought to doodle it. Okay.
Yep, looks good. Another half hour or so.
Yeah.
Just enough time for another sipper.
Ah, a sip. Ah, you love a good barbecue. I know you do. Oh, I know. I think supper's probably ready. Let's give it the big look-see. Dutch oven ribs on the coals, black and tans, nice and cold. Kicking back after a hike. I says, oh, baby, that's what I like.
My God, you shouldn't quit your day job.
I don't have a job.
Maybe you should look for one.
Oh,
Oh, but that looks great.
how about a job as a cook?
You might get that.
Huh?
You might get that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Cut them with a spoon. Look at that. Oh. What do you think, Mom?
Time to eat.
Don't quit my day job. Forget about it. Look at those things. Well, this one's even more tender. Look at it.
Yeah, I see. The smell is wafting up here right at me.
Yeah, that'll be enough for the two of us.
It ought to be.
Look at that.
Wow. Yep.
Wow.
Good job.
Supper time. You probably noticed I found my old hat. I love this hat. This is the hat I was wearing when I was filming the Back to My Roots series. And that is my favorite series that I've ever produced. That was a great, great time of my life. And you would see me wear this hat and trekking all through this forest with Frankie. Remember that? And I shared with you the day that I made my decision to leave New York and come here and start fixing up this camp and make it our home. It was the day that I had an epiphany. I was out by the pond out here and I talked to you guys, and what I said was, I'm 51 years old. How many good years do I have left? Now, we've been here 6 years. We've gone through 6 winters. It's been a wonderful experience, one of the best experiences of my life. I am so glad I did this, and so glad that I'm not going to go to my grave with this dream unfulfilled. We exceeded my expectations more ways than I can count. So here it is again. We're going to cash it in and use that same stepping stone process and step on back to the place that we love the most, and that's the New York cabin. But here's a little wake-up call for you folks. When I posted that video and I said, I'm 51 years old, right? Frankie was 5. He was in his prime. Now Frankie's gone, and man, we miss him. And I'm going to be 61 this year, and little Tildy is the same age that Frankie was in that video. That is how much time has gone by in such a short amount of time. It's flying by, folks. So if that isn't a little bit of a wake-up call, a little bit of a reality check for you all to start living, I don't know what is, man. But we're living, and I'm going to continue on.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go, there's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss, Frankie and the boss.